Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Teri Ardleigh Swift from Sotheby's International Realty and His Excellency Iván Duque Márquez of the Republic of Colombia.
Good morning, everybody. It's day 2, excited to be here. And I've got to say, I love telling people about Concordia. And I'm getting a little better each year with explaining what it does and what it is. But what I never get to really explain when I'm telling people in the outside world about our life in Concordia is that the energy that comes when we all get together. It's instant, it's immediate, and it's so meaningful. There's something amazing about what happens and transpires here. From start to finish, it delivers. Every year, the friendships grow and the connections expand. Everyone has something to offer and share. I cannot tell how many Concordia moments are out there. All you have to do is just start up a conversation with the person next to you or in the coffee line. I've attended all 15 summits. Proof positive. And it's been an honor to be on the Leadership Council, and I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people during these 15 years. In honor of Concordia's 15th year, here's a little history from my perspective. It began 21 years ago when Matt Swift and Nick Logothetis met the first day in high school, their sophomore year, at the Salisbury School in Northwest Connecticut. It was an instant friendship. As the school year progressed, Matt and Nick created a successful snack company, food business. They had, as Nick said, they had adults working for them, as well as the student body, various people. It was wildly successful, not necessarily popular with the school, but what a ride. Internships followed in several years, and college began. Both Nick and Matt had a thirst for being in the thick of it. I'm curious about leadership, politics, worldly issues, and business. The list goes on. When Matt and Nick pitched an initial concept to start Concordia, the general consensus, and whoever they asked, was, it's kind of a bad idea. It won't work. And how does it sustain itself? That's when they knew they were on to something. As with everything Matt and Nick do, there was a never think small moment. Concordia has always been a rocket ship of energy with lofty goals to tackle challenging issues facing our world. At the first summit, on the heels of 9/11, counterterrorism was addressed. President George Bush was there, several heads of state, former presidents from around the world, ambassadors, as well as CEOs and NGOs, many of who are here today. You stuck with it, it's amazing. 150 people were in attendance. That probably includes everybody working there too. Mostly family and friends to fill the room. It was amazing seeing all the former presidents exchanging ideas and thoughts, bantering back and forth from the stage, and actually having fun. Seeing the interaction, we all felt like we had a seat at the table. The energy of youth was and continues to be so contagious. No one on the team of 14 was over the age of 30. There was a dinner following to get an exchange of ideas and some next steps. It was all organic thinking and dreaming, but it needed definition. The big takeaway was identifying global issues by convening, connecting through public, partner, privateships, the 3 Ps. I remember someone commenting during the early summits, Concordia was on to something, that one day the UN would take note. It has. So has the rest of the global community. People pay attention. Bill Clinton came to year 2, and it was a summit of many different speakers and presentations. Heads of fashion, NGOs, all speaking about their projects and their ways of giving back. The venue was the Plaza Hotel, and the attendance was growing. It's important it's important to remember that to this day, Concordia remains nonpartisan. That is truly, in this environment, not an easy task to navigate. Agree or disagree, it's usually interesting to hear all the different perspectives. As Matt mentioned yesterday, it's complicated, incredibly complicated. I've had so many Concordia aha moments and memories. Shout out from President Biden, and I didn't even know what a shout out was. Yesterday, I was asked to switch seats and found myself sitting with the Syrian contingent. And just introducing myself, I learned how their visit came to be and how positive they are with their new president and their hopes for the future. There's so much more, so many interesting speakers, meetings, roundtables, and the Swift Hour. What a great setting. Special thanks to the Logothetis family who have supported and contributed, and they brought it to what it is today, and especially in those early days when things were really even harder. George, you have mentored well, and as always, your talk is inspiring. So for my shout outs, thank you, Hannah. You're a force. You're always finding a way. Through thick and thin, I know you will uncover the issues that are so important and interesting. I missed the day of charity after the summits, but it's gotten too big. Stephanie, I know the summit time is here when I see you. You have been here for so many years. You are the anchor for so much of what goes on, getting the summit to work smoothly. Not to mention, you always help me find a good seat. Ben, thank you for the work you do. You're a connector, a good friend, and you're a big reason the Concordia Board and Leadership Council runs so smoothly. Thank you, Concordia team. I'm awed by your work and commitment. Keep going, keep evolving, stay creative. Matt and Nick, 15 years. Bravo. So well done, and I'm thankful and proud to be Matt's mom and to have been able to witness the evolution of Concordia, especially behind the scenes. It's been challenging, hard, relentless, intense, full of issues and surprises each year, and it's always gotten better. Each summit gets better. And all that's going on behind the scenes and all that hard work, somehow you, your team, Nick, you all make it look flawless. It all comes out here and looks like it all works. I can't wait to see what's next, and the world is so much better with Concordia in it. Thank you.
Teri, that was amazing. It is such an honor for me to be here this morning. And I definitely have to say that I'm very impressed after 15 years to see how Concordia has grown and how it has created so much influence, positive influence throughout the world. I want to connect two stories. One related to the world we live in, especially considering that today, most of us are talking about an AI revolution. And yes, indeed, technology is moving at the speed of light. It's transforming the way we interact, the way we live. But it doesn't worry me that machines want to be managed in order to think like humans. What worries me is that humans may be tempted to act like machines. And the way that can be avoided is being more human, more humanistic, to recognize differences, to be able to reconcile opinions, to be able to work together. And that is what Concordia is all about. The definition of Concordia in Spanish is acordar, which means to agree. And that has to do with the respect of each one's opinions and be able to craft something better and greater. And that's why I always think about that phrase from Thomas Jefferson that said that when too much people think alike, there's not too much thinking going on. You need to have differences of opinions. You need to have perspectives from different fields. And that is what Concordia is all about. 15 years ago, I was in my mid-30s, and I met two young men in their mid-20s that were thinking and putting together this summit, bringing heads of states and CEOs and talking very passionate about public-private partnerships. 15 years after, Concordia has become a gathering where people agree and build alliances that are producing very positive effects in different parts of the world. Nick Logothetis and Matthew Swift 15 years ago were very persuasive in order to get me involved in Concordia. And I've been involved since then. I was present at creation. George Logothetis has always supported and trusted young entrepreneurs and young visionaries. And that's why he also supported, with so much strength, the building of Concordia. And the other story that I want to connect is how Concordia has moved from these gatherings here in New York and London, in Bogota and Miami, to do something of impact in the heart of the Amazon biome. A place that we would not be able to exist or even meet the global climate change objectives if we dare to lose it. The Amazon is a long, but it's a place that is able to sink more than 15% of all the world greenhouse gases emissions. And it is a place that holds more than 15% of the world biodiversity. Well, as Matt and Nick persuaded me 15 years ago, I was able to persuade them 3 years ago and say, we have to go to the heart of the Amazon. We've been in Ecuador. We've been in Guyana, and this year we were in Brazil. And next year we will be in Colombia, celebrating the 4th Concordia Amazon Initiative. We go there in a Maloca way. We leave our titles, power, influence aside, and we work with indigenous communities. And we bring the Concordia way to the Amazon. And we have been able to see and witness that based on the influence of Concordia, President Ali from Guyana said that he's going to expand protected areas to 30% before 2030. We signed an agreement in Sophia Point in Guyana. We established in Ecuador a public-private partnership with indigenous communities for ecotourism. And this year in Pará, in Brazil, we were able to sign with the governor of Pará the Global Mangroves Declaration to protect that very unique species that becomes a contention wall to avoid and prevent natural disasters. This is all done in the Concordia way. So, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for the Sweet 16 next year. And prepare yourself to see Concordia growing every year with more strength, with more power, with more influence, with a compassionate mind, and with the idea that in a polarized world, being able to acordar in the Concordia way is meaningful. I'm going to leave you with a video that describes what we did this year in Belém do Pará, the Concordia way in the heart of the Amazon. Thank you so much.
In July 2025, Belém, in the state of Pará, became the meeting point for leaders, businesses, and communities at Concordia Amazonas 2025, a summit focused on public-private partnerships to drive sustainable future for the most biodiverse region on the planet. The warm welcome at the Atrium Quinta de Pedras Hotel was followed by an evening dinner at the historic Casa de Once Janelles, where President Iván Duque and Matt Swift opened a dialogue and set a shared agenda for protecting the Amazon. On Ilha do Combu, the opening plenary explored how many market-driven solutions can boost both conservation and development.
Me chamo Natália Mapuá, estou aqui na imersão da Concórdia e para mim tem sido um evento muito importante porque estou conseguindo falar um pouco da realidade, principalmente de povos e comunidades tradicionais, consultando um pouco das comunidades locais.
Então tem sido muito rico, uma discussão muito interessante com pessoas de todo mundo, com diferentes perspectivas e carreiras.
The first do tank focused on ecotourism as a catalyst for sustainable growth and local employment.
Eu estou aqui no encontro promovido pela Concordia, a convite da World Climate Foundation, para discutir especificamente soluções especialmente ligadas ao ecoturismo, que, sem a menor dúvida, é um dos principais motores da nossa bioeconomia.
In the afternoon, an excursion showcasing innovation projects and financial solutions, ending the day with dinner at Celeste, alongside state authorities from Pará. The second day began with a visit to COP30 site, followed by a do tank at Mangal de Garzas, centered on design climate-resilient infrastructure for the Amazon.
Infraestructura resiliente, ecoturismo, economía baja en emisiones, la construcción de ciudades en la Amazonía y bueno, con más de 15 expertos compartiendo esta maravillosa experiencia y también viviéndola.
Proteger as florestas, né, é parte da estratégia do Grupo Carrefour. Então, acho que esses dias têm sido muito ricos e potentes para a gente conseguir unir esforços e garantir e proteger, né, esse bem tão importante para o mundo como um todo.
Later, Natura Ecoparque presented its model of strategic alliances and community engagement before the day concluded with a dinner at Casa Iga. The final day began at Coca-Cola Recycling Plant and Factory, highlighting corporate leaderships in climate action. The closing plenary at Atrium Quinta de Pedras summarized the do tank's conclusions and outlined concrete actions leading into COP30. The evening concluded with a farewell dinner at Casa Namata, reaffirming the shared commitment to a prosperous and sustainable future for the Amazon.
We continue to focus on public and private sector cooperation and market-driven, nature-based solutions to protecting the Amazon rainforest. Join us next time.
Concordia Amazonas 2025, a global call to protect, innovate, and cooperate for the lungs of our planet.